Hi, Gibaud, Gibaud.com, and today I'm going to tell you my 7 tips for photography tips, advice for the month of June 2025. All of them about traveling when you want to make photography. So let's start. The first thing, it's important before traveling to decide if it is a trip to make photography, a photo trip, or whatever you want to call it, or you go traveling, and while traveling you will make some pictures. This is really a different attitude because if you aim at making pictures, then you should plan a bit, what you want to do, or what kind of picture you want to make, what things you would like to see to make pictures of them, all this. And if it's just a trip where you go traveling with your family or friends or whatever, and while there you make some pictures, then probably it's important to think who is going with you. Do they also make pictures? Or can I abuse with my time making pictures so they wait for me in the meanwhile? Or do they also make pictures? And that will also decide a lot on what kind of gear you're going to bring. So it's important to think first. I'm going to travel. What type of picture will I make? What situation will I be in? And what do I want to do with my photography? Is it specific to photography or not? That's important. Second tip, what camera are you going to bring with you? Well, if you have just one, well, obviously that one. Or maybe you decide to go just with your smartphone and say, no, I leave the camera at home, I will do everything with my smartphone. That's also a possibility. But let's imagine you have several cameras. Which one you will get with you? You have to check the weight, the volume, the size, everything. Also, which one is better prepared for what you want to do. This is not the same thing to go to the Amazonian jungle than to Paris or New York City, because it depends on, the humidity, the weather, and many things. So you have to think a bit what camera will be the best tool for you while traveling. Whether it's specific for photography or whether it's travel that is just see anything and bring some souvenir along. Okay, so important, decide what camera. Third tip, this is probably the question I receive most. What focal length should I bring when I go on vacation? This is important because, as I said in the first point, if it's a photography trip, obviously you need to bring the lenses that respond to the type of pictures you're going to make. If you're going to do, on eagle flying, you need to bring your tele lens, obviously. If you're going to do a specific trip photography or architecture photography, you need to bring the lenses that will respond to that, okay? But if it's not a trip specific to photography, you just go on vacation and will bring along back with you some pictures, then you must accept that you will not make pictures of everything. So try to get the lens that will respond, or the lenses that will respond to most pictures you will make. Doesn't make sense to bring a telelens or 500mm telelens for eagles if at the end of the day you're not even sure that you will see them. If you go specifically to make picture of these eagles, obviously you bring this lens, but otherwise, well, it doesn't matter. You see them, well, I didn't make picture, didn't have the lens with me, and that's it. I made other pictures. So in this situation, bring the lenses or the lens that will cover most of your need, accepting that some things you will not be able to make pictures of because you will not have the gear for it, and that's it. Doesn't matter. By the way, if you're planning to get some gear for your vacation, don't forget that I've got affiliated links in the description. Please use them. That really helps me. And if you wanted to buy Luminar Neo or Aperture by Skylum, also any gear like K&F Concept you can find on Ken Faith website. I give you a link in the description. Please use my code ERIC10. That gives you 10% discount. In the case of Luminar Neo and Aperture, it's 10% on top of any offer they have. So you save a lot more money. Thank you so much. That really helps me. So, tip number 4. Some people think that maybe getting a lens that is all-in-one, like the Sigma 18 to 300mm I presented last week or 2 weeks ago, or the 18 to 400mm by Tamron, also reviewed last year, I think, that is a possibility. And people ask me, is it a good option? Well, I think there are two ways of saying it. If your trip is specifically to make pictures, then I think you should bring the gear that will give you the best image quality. and these are not this gear. These lenses are nice, but they're not the best. So if you are searching or looking for the best image quality, buy your best lenses or bring your best lenses. But on the other hand, if you feel that it's not specific to photography, you don't want to be bothered with several lenses or a lot of volume or weight, yeah, these lenses are a good option, knowing that the image quality will not be the best, but still you can sharpen them a bit in post-production after. There's some software for that, or give a bit more contrast to get a bit more punchy, all this. So both options are good, but you must accept that if you get all-terrain, or you want to call it all-in-one lens, it will not be the best image, the best optical quality, but it can make nice pictures to come back with. Okay, so this is something you should evaluate yourself. But yes, some people prefer to have just one lens that tries to do everything. Personally, if I'm not going specifically for pictures, yeah, why not? That's not a bad idea. But if I go specifically to make good quality pictures, I would not bring that type of lens. Okay? Tip number 5, energy. Many people think that they need to bring several batteries when they go on a trip, and they're right. Sometimes they don't think of enough batteries because they feel, oh, I will charge a battery when I get to the hotel. But sometimes, yeah, it's not possible because the hotel has just one plug and it doesn't work properly, or it is where the light is connected, or whatever, or the TV, or whatever. It's not really practical. And even though they can charge in the hotel, sometimes they don't have time, or the battery is finished half day, and what's about the rest of the day? So I recommend you have at least one more battery than you normally need. If you normally use one, get two. If you normally use two, get three. And then don't forget the charger. And most people nowadays charge the battery directly in the camera with your charger, whether the phone charger, whatever. This is a big mistake. Why? Because let's say it's half day, you finish your battery, you put the second one, and you carry on, and that's fine. But when you get to the hotel, you need to charge both batteries, assuming there is a socket to charge, okay? But while the first one is getting charged, maybe you go to sleep. So 3 hours later, you have to wake up, change, swap batteries to charge the second one, and maybe it doesn't even give time, or you forget. At the end, you have only one battery that is charged. So I recommend you get a charger. This one is more holder for the charger. You still plug the charger here, okay? But you can charge two batteries at the same time. And also, if at midday you go to the hotel, you can leave there the first battery that is empty charging here, and you keep shooting in the afternoon with your camera with the second battery. So I recommend you get this. Here, this is just a holder. Here you still connect your charger, okay? Second, very often in hotels, you have one electric socket in the bathroom in case you want to shave, and one in the room part, the bedroom part, okay? There are more, but one is occupied by the TV, another one with the small lamp next to the bed, and you have just one available. But maybe you need to charge batteries, smartphone, you want to connect a computer, all that. So I recommend you get this. This is a 3 socket, but it could be like 4, 5, 10, whatever you want, okay? Don't get too long because it doesn't make sense. But here you could be charge your battery for your camera, maybe your smartphone, maybe well, your computer if you have it with you, or whatever. And as you can see, this doesn't take space, doesn't weigh much, and it fits in your suitcase. Important. Don't buy this while traveling. Get it at your house, at your hometown, before traveling. Why? Because if you go to another country that is not yours, maybe the wall socket is different. So you buy this there, and when you come back to your country, you cannot use it anymore. What for? With an adapter always. That doesn't make sense. So bring the one you have from home, or buy it at in your country, okay? First. Second, maybe, as I said, the wall socket is different depending where you are. So you need to get an adapter. If you buy them at the airport, they're really expensive, but if you buy it at your home country in a hardware store, they're a lot cheaper. And this is a multi-country. So here I plug my this, And here I just pick, depending on the country where I am, I select the plug that goes here. But also if I have a different country plug because you forgot to buy this, for example, and or you bring it from another country you bought before, it doesn't fit. They have several countries here also, so this adapter is so useful. Okay, so you can really connect to any type of country. So don't forget, external charger, yeah, an adapter with several sockets, and an adapter for the country where you travel to. Okay, so that's important. Advice number 6. What's about storage? Well, many people think, yeah, I've got a couple of memory cards and that's fine. If I fill them, I will erase the bad pictures and that's it. I free up some space. Big mistake. Never erase picture in your camera. If there's First, because maybe you erase the wrong picture. The one that is good, you take it away and you keep the bad one. First thing. Second, maybe you think you erase just one, but you erase 3 or 4, or the whole week, or the whole day, because you manage wrong the menu and that's it. Second, you can damage the index table. Then none of your picture will be accessible, but they're still on the card. So you can recover them with a special software on your computer. But in the meanwhile, you cannot use the card anymore. So have enough cards, okay, to make sure they will cover your needs. Otherwise, you buy an extra card there, but have enough cards. Second, you must decide if you're going to do a backup of your pictures while there. There are some special device. You actually plug in the card and it copies to SSD drive, all in one. Honestly, I don't trust this. I know many people use them, but I don't trust them. I don't trust things I cannot check on the fly, or just a small screen. It says, okay, I need to check that things are there. So sorry for that. I don't use that kind of gear. I know some people do. If you want, it does exist, okay? If I make backup, I prefer to bring my computer anyway, because for my work, I always bring my computer anyway, and make some backup on several hard drive like this, external hard drive, and also in the cloud if in the cloud if needed. But take this into account. Memory cards, and if you decide to do a backup, how will you do it? Okay. Tip number 7: transport and safety, security. Think of what you need to bring with you on your back. Okay, on your back, not just cameras. Also, maybe you need a shirt, a sweatshirt, I don't know, woolen hat or whatever. Okay, t-shirt, extra pants, whatever. If you will have this with you, with your camera gear, think of a backpack probably, that fits everything in there. That's important. Second, think that maybe you will not be the whole day with all your gear with you. Maybe you leave some back at the hotel, or when you get to the hotel or wherever you stay, you leave your computer there, or maybe you take just one camera, one lens with you that day, but the rest leaves back at the hotel. Well, you're not going to carry an empty, massive backpack with just one thing on it. So maybe it's a good idea in your suitcase to place a smaller bag, a sling bag, whatever, that fits just one camera, one lens maybe. So it doesn't make sense to bring several bags even when you go traveling. The one that you will have with you if you go on the plane or whatever, and the one that you will use in destination. So don't forget this. Having a smaller bag, you put it in your suitcase. Some people say it occupies space, but you can still put your socks and things in there, small t-shirt in there. So it doesn't, the space that it occupies is filled with things, so it's no problem. Okay, so don't forget that, to maybe have several bags. Okay. Second, safety. Well, I don't know if you saw the video of Ben H, I think it's called, who got his backpack stolen, or he forgot it and someone took it, and he had a lot of Hasselblad gear, about 20,000 euros of gear, and luckily he had an AirTag on the bag and on the camera, and thanks to that he could follow the guy who actually took his bag away, and got it back. Okay, with few negotiation he got it back. Well, since then I've placed this also on my camera, on these two cameras there, and this one also. This is a base plate, and here I've got an Apple AirTag. It exists also for Android, okay? It means that This is not a SIM card, this is not a GPS, okay? But still, if someone come close with an iPhone, it will tell this camera was close to that place at that time. And it's better than nothing, and it is really useful. Actually, I see that I've got one on each camera, also have one in my suitcase, and when I go traveling, I see that I leave my suitcase at the counter at the airport, so it goes in the plane, and I can see where it is in the airport because there's always some operators with an iPhone, one of them at least, and it says your bag was last seen in such place. Okay, so that's really good because if I go to a friend's place with my camera, I'll leave it in the living room, and I go on the street with him, then it will tell your camera was last seen in this place. So it's not just because of thieves. Sometimes it's because you forget, or you have your smaller bag with the camera in there, and when you leave the hotel, you forget the small bag. It will tell you, hey, your camera is back there. So it's important. I think it's a good idea to have AirTag on every gear you have, or at least the most expensive, or at least the camera bag. Okay, so think that can really help you find back your gear or follow it, and not just because of robbery. It can be just because you forgot it. You went to lunch at the restaurant and you forgot the bag on the floor, and straight away after 10 meters it tells you your camera was last seen there. Okay, so that's important. Well, these were my 7 tips, but I'll leave you an extra bonus, the 8th tip. So it's a double tip. The first one is about batteries. If you go on a plane, many people, when at the airport at the counter, they tell them, do you have any electronics or battery in your suitcase? They say, no. Yeah. Now they detect batteries. And I saw the other day a YouTuber that actually went to China, to Shanghai, and no problem. And when he came back, a month after, his suitcase was not at the airport at Barcelona. And he went to the checker, to the counter, and they said, yes, your bag is still in China. I said, why? Because you had a battery in there. It's forbidden. So it was not bored, so it's there. Oh, well, okay, well, yeah, but send it now. No, you have to pick it up yourself. Well, can't they remove the battery from the bag? No, they're not allowed. So you need to travel back to China and get your suitcase back. He had to travel back at his own expenses. Okay? That's crazy, but that's the way it is. Your batteries can go on the plane with you in the cabin, not where all the suitcases are. So it's important. When they ask you that, don't lie. They will detect it. Okay, so it's important you have them with you. Second, I've got a friend actually had some batteries in a suitcase. He was sitting on the plane, and then an operator came in and said, is Mr. This here, this one? Yeah, come here, please. This is your suitcase? Yes, it is. Please remove the battery you have in there. Otherwise, you would have left the battery back. So it's so important. Don't lie with that. The battery must go with you. Why? Because there is lithium in there. If they go on fire in the cabin, they can stop it. But if it's in the main part with all the suitcases, then that's a massive problem because they cannot sit. They cannot stop the plane and try to stop that. So this is why they don't want any type of electronics or batteries in the main compartment for suitcases. So don't forget that. So you can bring any type of battery as long as it's no more than 100 milliamps. Okay. That's why you have many batteries that are 99 milliamps, okay? Otherwise, you cannot fly anywhere, not cabin, nothing, okay? So don't forget, don't lie about the batteries. Second, maybe you have a backpack that the limit on the plane is 8 kilos, but it weighs 10 or 12 kilos. Obviously, if it weighs 30 kilos, this tip is not going to work, probably, okay? But in there you have your valued camera, valued computer, all this, and no way you want this to be with suitcases, and then they will be on the place where you pick up your luggage, and you're afraid they get broken or whatever. So you want to keep them with you in the cabin. But the weight is just over the 8 kilos. So you always have the risk that an operator says, sir, come here. Could we weight your backpack? 12 kilos, sorry, it has to go with everything in there, not with you in the cabin. So you pay extra, otherwise you cannot fly. And if you say, Well, I don't want to fly. Then, if you're the first one to board or among the first ones, no problem. They will recover your suitcase. This is if you've checked more luggage, okay, more baggage. If you have a suitcase, then they will find it, bring it to you, and leave you without flying. But if you are the last one to check, time is running and time is expensive. They have penalties if they don't take off at the time that is, they've planned, okay? So if you board last and they say, oh, your backpack weighs 12 kilos, it has to go with all the suitcases. And they say, no, then I don't fly. They will tell you, do you have a suitcase? Yes. They don't have time to find it. They don't have time to pick it up. So two possibilities. They will tell you, okay, go on and move in and that's it. And you fly and that's it. Or they will tell you, okay, you can fly, but we'll take your backpack, put it in a special place where actually there are the small carts for kids, all this, and then we'll give it you back when you land, but not with all the suitcases, but at the door of the plane, we'll give you back your bag. But at least it's a lot safer than going around the airport with all the suitcases, operator that throw them, all that. So don't forget, if you have a backpack that is overweight, it's important, board last. Because time is expensive for airplanes, okay, for air companies. So they will be a lot nicer with you than if you go first and then you try to move in with overweight on your back, okay? So that's it. These were my 7 tips, plus a bonus for June 2025. I hope you like them. If you feel they may interest other people, please share them on social networks. If you have not done it yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. The small button down here and the small bell. If you click on the bell, you will get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, you can leave a comment below. Don't forget, I've got affiliated links in the description. Please use them. That really helps me. And if you wanted to buy Luminar Neo, Aperty by Skylum, or any product from K&F website, I've got the link in the description, like K&F Concept products, you get a 10% discount with my code ERIC10. In the case of Luminar Neo and Aperty, it's 10% on top of any offer they have. You see, great offer, it still plays my code, it's even cheaper for you. Thank you so much, because that really helps me. So, what else? I'll leave you my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much, please take care of yourself, and see you soon. Bye!